Hello and welcome to Battle Brothers. Battle Brothers is kind of a turn-based tactics RPG-like game. It's similar to XCOM, kind of similar to, I guess, Final Fantasy Tactics, except it's way more equipment-driven. It's way more equipment-driven than even XCOM as well, because XCOM has skill trees with classes, while this is classless, really, and has just like a unified skill tree for all characters, as well as just unified equipment that anyone can use. However, the way you sort of class your dudes, your brothers, your battle brothers, is by basically equipping them. So everything is equipment based, really, with experience still mattering, but like equipment is what actually decides what your character is doing. The game is amazing. It's brutally hard though, so we might lose very easily. You might have judged by the title of this video what we're doing. We're going to be trying to do a Cultists of Davkul campaign. Davkul, I believe, is like a death god. He's not an evil god, I don't think, but still a death god all the same. And in terms of banner, there's some new ones here with like a Nordic flair, or a yeah, like a Northern Raiders type of flair. Because the new DLC they added here, it added banners, it added like these origins and everything. A lot of them are really cool, but we're going with the Davkul cultists. Yeah, and added a bunch of other like features to the base game itself. We're going to go with this flag. Seems most like the kind of like a symbol of Davkul, I suppose. And for the name, will be the chosen of Davkul. The late game crisis, the thing that's going to fuck us in the late game if we get there, is going to be random. Permanent destruction is going to be on. This is the seed, map seed, if you want to play the same map as me. So for economic difficulty, we're going to set it to beginner. Combat difficulty, small bonus to hit chance, and the enemy gets a small penalty to ease you into the game. I'm not a new player by any means. I'm going to do veteran. However, economic difficulty, I'm going to keep it on beginner because if it's on veteran difficulty, it's far more punishing. Like the results of a battle will then stay with you for a longer time if the economic difficulty is bad. So you can essentially get yourself into like a death spiral where you made a choice that doesn't really manifest itself as a loss until like 2 hours later. And then you realize, oh yeah, the thing I did 2 hours ago is the reason I lost. This, setting this to beginner, kind of helps mitigate that. It still exists. It's still like a design issue in a lot of games like this. Starting funds, we'll keep them on high. You might think this feels like cheating. The game is difficult enough as it is. This is basically just for production value, so that like, you know, if this playthrough goes to hell, it goes to hell in 5 episodes instead of just 1. So that you can see my slow and rampant, or slow decline into madness as everything starts falling apart around me. Instead of it crashing and burning in the first battle and then everything being over. That's not very entertaining, is it? So this is the introduction to the Cultists of Davkul. I think the implication here is that we are a character who is leaving their life behind, quote unquote, to join Davkul. Actually, reading this, he seems kind of like a more evil god after all. I put the woman and child in the barn, which you have surely already found in ashes. They were knocked unconscious, for he does not seek their pain. Please do not dwell upon their demise. They are with him now, and in their passing I have been freed of all obligations to do what must be done. But now I will be gone. I will have taken up a new role, a new face, and beneath both I will become something I am not. I will pretend, I will act. But in the end, it is with one purpose. And you know what that purpose is. I must not name it, but you shall find it in the moments when you realize no one truly believes that they are going to die. The purity of one's own annihilation must be clouded by distraction and merriment. Not all can see him, not all should, but see him they will. Be well, strangers that you have become. For Davkul awaits us all. Davkul awaits. So, let's have a look at the map that the game generated for us. It always generates a completely random map with 3 major houses vying for control of the map. With a north and a south, warmer in the south, colder in the north, with various enemies present on the map depending on the regions. Parts of the map are unexplored. They contain like hidden riches, tombs, etc, etc, various adventure locations and horribleness. Let's have a look at the houses. So we've got a lion here. We've got, well, we'll see them better if we go to the diplomacy view. House Horn of the Sun. A friend to a friend. The House of Horn holds high the principles of justice and honor, and without irrational rulings, the region has prospered. The reputation may be peaceful, but Horn knights are battle-hardened, and their troops will ferociously fight anyone threatening their realm, subordinates or principals. Many nobles envy their wealth and ridicule their principles. House Rumult especially holds more or less an overt grudge against those of House Horn. Then let us look at House Rumult. House Rumult, to live without a wish concealed. Trading and haggling can be just as fierce as fighting a war, and the House of Rumult is a true master of cunning bargains. Rumor has it that many a profitable deal made by House Rumult is not only based on honest trading, but also bribery, extortion, and deception. The family resides in the pompous region capital of Lemberg, but despite their unmeasurable riches, they are known to be notoriously close-fisted. So they're like greedy bastards. Greedy, conniving bastards. And then we have House Sommervine. For me and for mine. Disdained for their I can't even say words. I'm sorry. Disdained for their ruthlessness, brutality, and greed, House Sommervine has little interaction with other noble families. Their captains and soldiers are known for raiding trade caravans, outlying farms, and small settlements from their fortress of Erzfeste. A life is not worth much in the realm of House Sommervine, and many a mercenary on the look for a quick coin only found a quick end here. So these guys are betrayers, it seems. I mean, out of all of these guys seem like the nicest, but I think the most coin is made in the lands of House Rumult. We start, of course, with House... in the lands of House Sommervine. Not amazing. Our cult of Davkul is made up of 4 members. We have Leif the Believer, Gero the Zealot, a flagellant, shirtless with a whip. A new weapon type, I believe. Gustav the Insane, in his cultist leather robes, wielding his 2-handed wooden flail. And Emlund the Misguided. He's got eagle eyes, he's got a weasel, he might be a good archer. Spartan Gustav the Insane does not need for much. He is superstitious though. Does not like panic and other mind control effects and stuff like that. Magic. And Gero the Zealot is afraid of beasts. And Leif the Believer is also superstitious. What a merry band of weirdos we have. I'm gonna put the bandages on Erland. And let us visit Kilseng. So we start with a lot of gold now, 2,900. We're not going to spend all that because, again, I think that feels like cheating. That's our safety net. All these guys are actually quite cheap, so we're going to hire a bunch of them. We're going to hire Ludolf. They all have a hidden trait. This is their daily cost, and this is their upfront cost. Gerlach is a peddler, so like a person who, you know, peddles goods, I suppose. And another peddler, House to House Hubert is a mere peddler. Yep. Let's hire all of them, and let us structure our line here. So the peddlers, will put them at the back. we'll set Gero at the middle in the front. The reason for that is that a whip has longer range than other weapons, actually. It has a range of 3 tiles, which is quite impressive, honestly. And we want to have this guy on the edge, Gustav, because he has a thresh attack which attacks everywhere around him. Putting him in the middle would then attack every one of his friends, basically, so we want to have him at the edge. And I do have to, like, be upfront about this. I'm not very good at this game, so if things go badly, if everything goes to shit, if I make poor decisions, you're allowed to make fun of me, but please be gentle. I play this to have fun, and my way of having fun might not be the same as yours. I'm sorry for that, if that's the case. Let's see. But if you do have helpful tips and, you know, constructive criticism, please leave it in the comments below. I mean, I want to get better. So we have a quiver of arrows, but they're not selling any bows. We want to get these things on our Erland and get this cultist hood off of him. In fact, because of his good vision, I'm going to take that off of him and put it on this guy instead. They don't have a barber here. At a barber, you can have your brothers, like their appearance edited, which is kind of cool. Let us leave Kilsung. Kilsung does not have any work for us, and so we have no business here yet. Because we can either go north to Tandorf or east to Wissenbach. North to Tandorf would actually put us in a dead end geographically in terms of roads. So we're gonna go to Wissenbach because it has a road that leads through the forest and over to Kammersmark. And that takes us closer to Lemberg, the decadent capital of House Remolt. The Rembach has work for us. A cowl-shaded man hisses at you, his teeth and nose winking momentarily from the dark of his hood. You have no time for lepers or jokers and demand the man get out of your way. Instead, he starts talking. My master requires your services. He's heard of your exploits. Follow me and I shall take you to him. You rest your hands on the handle of your sword and nod. Wolfram, the Guildmasters, got a satchel, Wolfram the Guildmasters. Guildmaster something, I think it's meant to say. Oh no, he has got a. So Wolfram the Guildmasters got a satchel with a scroll attached, but the name written on the paper is not yours. He weighs it carefully, the lumps of coin curving about his fingers, the chink in Chanks muted. He turns to you. You recognize that name? You shake your head, and the man continues. A week ago, we sent the famed Sir Casimir out here to go hunt some foul beasts that have been terrorizing the town and surrounding farmsteads for weeks. You know why this satchel has remained in my ownership? You shrug and answer, because he hasn't returned. Wolfram the Guildmaster nods and sets his satchel down. He sits on the edge of his table. Correct. Because he has not returned. Now why do you think that is? I think it's because he's dead. But let's not be so negative. I think it's because the beasts out there require more. I think they require someone like you, Sellsword. Would you be willing to help us now that this nobleman has failed? Beasts. What kind of beasts, though? Let's talk pay. This is quite a lot for a early game job. We need to be paid more for this. I don't want to have more in advance. That gets them mad. Oh, well. More payment when the work is done. How about this? Yeah, 410. So, I'm bargaining, essentially, or haggling here to get more money once the job is done and less in advance. The reason for that is that if you get paid in advance, they get way more upset if you cancel the job. And right now, I think this might be a job where we might not be able to make it. I think I've seen a job similar to this, and It involved some very nasty things. Yet I accept this contract. So let's try to hire on some more brothers. Actually, what's this? They've been doing witch burnings here. A fiery spectacle, witch burnings attract spectators, and spectators attract food stands, and then there's bound to be a number of witch hunters in town. I see none willing to be recruited, but we can recruit a day-tailor, doing odd jobs to survive. This odd job might be his last. He will be handed a buckler and a shield. No, he will be handed a buckler and a butcher's cleaver to stand in the line. If he dies for Davkul. Hatchets are actually surprisingly good weapons, spears even more so though. Bludgeons are better against people in armor. That's not what we're going to be fighting, I don't think. I love the soundtrack in this game, it's so good. Alright, let's buy this, because it actually is some decent armor. There we go, now our band looks positively ridiculous, with a red shirt and or purple, burgundy, and a cultist hood. These people look, yeah, they don't look quite right. Still no real ranged weaponry to be seen here. Only arrows. These are the tracks towards what we're hunting. Oh no. Oh no. That is nasty. Okay. Webknechts. So those are giant spiders. I don't quite remember what they can actually do. Either way, we're going to need all the help we can get. Vinrik here is expensive, but his expense comes because of his equipment. So we'll hire him. Oh boy. Now we'll wait until the day before we engage. The reason for that is the ranged penalty that we get. Along the way, a peasant comes to you with his clothes and shredded rags about him. With fair modesty, he's got his hands covering his groin. Please, sirs, come take a look at this horror. When you question what he's talking about, he throws his hands up, thrusting his hips at you. He turns a foot like a puppet spun about and takes off running, hooting and hollering. A woman walks to you in the wake of the man's madness, and she's got her hands against her bosom. He's gone mad on account of his brother being torn apart by the beasts. Turn to her, half expecting the lady to rip off her clothes and wobble her shapes in whatever direction she pleases. Instead, she simply stares at you. I know Weissenbach has hired some men to take care of these beasts, and you certainly look the part of a hired hand. Please, sir, protect us from these evils and the evils that they spread. Yeah, so part of this game's theming and like storytelling is very much in like a George R. R. Martin type of way, you know, Game of Thrones type of way. War leads to suffering, which leads to further suffering, and so on and so forth. So like that man showed me his junk because, you know, war, I guess, and other horribleness. It is dawn. Let's see if we can't engage with the peasants. No, we can't. Oh, we can actually. The peasants are on our side. Oh yeah, dude. Oh, they're fast. Hubert is already afraid. Why is that? Oh, he's a dastard. He's prone to running at the first chance of danger. He'll wait his turn. No, in fact, they've all gone. He should have ended his turn. End your turn. We can do 2 quick shots or 1 aimed shot. The quick shots are 15% and the aim shots are 30%. I'll do 2 quick shots because you can end up missing and hitting an enemy adjacent to him. And also, I think they're going to close with us, rendering the ammunition rather useless before we can really use all of it anyways. God, the way they move, that's very unsettling. Okay, he can't actually get up to them in order to fight in time, so I'm gonna have him move here and end turn. Where are the peasants? Oh, that's them actually. Yeah. There's only 2 of them. I thought there would be 3. My man Garo, his whip, not doing the work it needs to be doing. Life is gonna get messed up. Or not, the peasants are going to be meat shields. Oh yeah, there's one hidden opponent. That might be... well, it's an opponent, so that couldn't be the peasant. He's heavily armored. Oh, there he is. Okay, no, it just says hidden opponent no matter what. He's heavily armored, so I'm gonna move him up to the side and try to get the threshers off. Oh boy. Okay, so he had to move so far he couldn't actually attack. That's very good. This peasant is poisoned, and our threshing boy is webbed. I have a tendency to call them boys when I should be calling them brothers. Let's see. Don't quite know where to put you. Suppose I'll move around and try to help this out. So we can try to free an ally, 41% chance to succeed, or we can try to do some damage. We have a pretty good weapon, a scram sax on Erland here, so I'm gonna try to do some damage instead. And we did. Bleeding, wavering, cut leg muscles. Good. And this guy can actually make an attack, so we will. And we'll leave the freeing to the ones who can't do anything else. Life goes next. Life is a bludgeon and the peasant is poisoned, so we'll try to free life. We did. Try to free the peasant as well. We did. Nice. Chance to ignore armor. But they don't have, or he doesn't have much armor yet left, so just go for it. Both are bruised. Both are surrounded. A broken nose on the spider. So, the web gives us what? Less damage, unable to move. Twice as much damage received by web connect's attack will ignore armor. Well, that just negates our heavy armor on this guy. I'll try to break free. Did not work. Might as well try again. Did not work. We have no alt weapons on this guy. We're gonna move him around, try to get some arrows off. Dude, this whip is super good. I say that, miss. Come on. Oh yes, nice. Feels like I put this on like real baby difficulty after all, when we're not actually completely losing the first battle we got into. Usually the first fight you get into in Battle Brothers is just like a complete failure, a complete disaster. That's why I did the funds and the economic difficulty stuff. Because you have to like rebuild after all that, but this is actually going really well. Extremely well. And I'm sure I'm making all kinds of mistakes here. Look at this hero just punching the giant spider in the nose. Because as previously established, they do have noses. Dude, I'm hacking. Totally. I don't deserve this. This is way too easy. Like, please punish me. This is not how this game is meant to go. The last campaign I tried to do, my first battle was against like 5 Naxherre or something. Like the ghouls of this game. The ones that like empower themselves when they eat corpses, and they can eat each other's corpses, and it's just hell. Well then, no losses. Holy hell. Only 1 injured as well. And that was Ireland. Amazing. The mercenaries scour the field, hacking and sawing at the spider's stiff remains to take back to Wolfram the Guildmaster. Even in death, the Vegknechts are ghastly, looking only a moment away from flinching back to life and wrapping themselves around the nearest breathing animal. Their horrifying features and surreal size does not stop some sellswords from dancing around, clicking their tongues and hissing, and all around preying upon the phobias of those less inclined to go near the damn things. Back to Weisenbach. And let's actually take on Leif here, or Leif, the butcher here. He's not that expensive. We will only grab people who are quite cheap. He already had a weapon, but he does not have a shield, so I'm gonna give him a buckler. His weapon isn't that good, but moment bodies are better than weapons. Weisenbach. At least that's my general philosophy. In the early game, your characters aren't experienced enough to really survive a lot of hits. And if you buy expensive armor for them, what's going to happen is they're going to die, and you're going to run away, and you're not going to be able to like pick it up again. If you win every battle, then it's good. You don't think you can fit the spider's corpse into Wolfram the Guildmaster's room? Instead, you slap it against his window from the outside. You hear a horrified scream and the clatter of falling furniture. A moment later, the adjacent window is thrown open. The townsman leans out. Oh, very rich, sellsword, very rich. May the old gods serve you 1,000 years of idle time for that one. Nodding, you ask about your pay. He begrudgingly tosses you a satchel. 410 crowns is in there. Now take that awful thing and go. A successful hunt. I've never seen this, this frame here before, surrounding it. Is that because it's in the forest or something? No, it isn't. Huh. So we can sell poison glands and stuff, but we can also use them to create poisons that we can apply to weapons. And gossamer, it disappeared to most common materials, if only it weren't so sticky. We might be able to make something out of that as well. There is crafting in this game, which is actually awesome. Yeah, we can create poisoned oil for an upfront fee of 75. Sure, yeah, let's make some poisoned oil. We can apply that later to our weapons, and it becomes quite, they become quite deadly. It's a one-time use, though. Can be used to coat your weapons or arrow tips. Let's do it to arrow tips. And let us continue on our journey towards Lemberg. As the company takes a break, you decide to address the men. Brothers, I want everyone to know the chosen of Davkul are not just cutthroats and errand boys, but skilled fighters of the First Order. Word of our deeds must spread, so that merchants and noblemen are begging us to take their contracts. What you tell the men, the company will set out to do. So this ambition is like a quest, and we will choose to get the company strength back to 12 men. That's the most easy one to do. You can either choose to become friends with the house or something like that, but it takes a long time to do that. We only need 2 more men to get up to 12 men. That being said, we're past the 30-minute mark. This marks the end of, most of my videos. Most of my videos are 30 minutes long. So, thank you for watching. And hopefully I will see you next time in the continuation of the journey of the Chosen of Davkul. I'm excited to see what happens and what Davkul has in store for us in terms of strange random events, sacrifices, and so on and so forth. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.